Mabuiga, welcome back to the Garifuna Experience Podcast. I'm your host, José Francisco Ávila. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a high-stakes, rapidly evolving crisis right here in New York City. One that strikes at the very heart of our community and impacts the hardworking home attendants who form the backbone of our society. We are talking about the New York City Council's Intro 0303-2026, also known as the No More 24 Act, a bill designed to abolish the 24-hour workday for home attendants. If you have been following the news, you know this battle has reached a boiling point. Back in April, 15 home care workers went on a week-long hunger strike outside City Hall. They paused it after receiving assurances that the bill will finally come to a vote. But months have passed, the vote was stalled, and on July 28th and 29th, those workers, led by the Ain't I a Woman campaign, were forced to resume their hunger strike outside of City Hall and rally outside Council Speaker Yuli Manning's home. Workers like Luz Estrella, who pulled 24-hour shifts for over a decade and developed a heart condition from chronic sleep deprivation, are calling out city leadership for broken promises. Under the state's so-called 13-hour rule, home care agencies can schedule workers for a full 24-hour shift, but only pay them for 13 hours, under the assumption that they get 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep and 3 hours for meals. As any caregiver will tell you, that uninterrupted rest is a myth. Workers routinely report working up to 96 straight hours without proper sleep or pay. In fact, organizers point out that severe sleep deprivation is a form of torture, and multiple lawsuits and state settlements have proven that wage theft in this industry is widespread. Among those dedicated workers are the unsung heroes, or as I like to call them, the unsung sheroes of Garifuna society. I'm talking about Garifuna home attendants, home health aides, and home care workers. According to the city comptroller, over 112,000 home care workers serve New York City, nearly 89% of whom are women of color and immigrant women. Within that workforce, Garifuna caregivers represent a significant, deeply caring, and culturally distinct pillar. If you know our culture, you know our care. Garifuna caregivers bring warmth, dedication, and a strong familiar approach into the homes of those they serve. For us, caring for others is not just a job, it's an extension of who we are. But despite their vital contributions, Garifuna workers remain among the city's most economically vulnerable. These are the essential workers who kept New York City afloat during the darkest days of the COVID-19 pandemic. Yet, they are being forced into grueling, health-shattering schedules. So why hasn't 303 passed? Introduced by Councilmember Christopher Marte, whose own mother was a home health aide, the bill will replace 24-hour shifts with 2 separate 12-hour shifts performed by 2 different workers. While nearly everyone agrees that the current system is broken, the bill has created a deep political divide, pitting natural allies against each other. Opponents and cautious lawmakers point out that home care is largely funded through state Medicaid dollars, which the city does not control. Labor Union 1199 SCIU estimates that splitting the shifts will cost around $460 million. Without state intervention and additional funding, groups like the Legal Society, DC 37, and disability rights advocates warn that agencies might stop providing care altogether, leaving nearly 114,000 high-need patients stranded and workers out of jobs. Disability advocates like T.R. Katongna and Nina Bakoyanis have voiced fear that without state Medicaid reform, the bill inadequately pits disabled New Yorkers against the very workers they rely on to live. This political friction has led to a major shift in the city council. 5 co-sponsors have now pulled their support from Intro 303, including Bronx Council member Elsie Encarnacion, who formally withdrew her support alongside Queens Council member Ty Hankerson, citing deep structural and funding concerns. This brings us directly to our headline question: where does the Bronx Delegation stand today? New York City is home to the largest Garifuna population outside of Central America, with over half residing in the Bronx. While District 8 Council member Elsie Encarnacion has pulled her co-sponsorship, members like District 17 Council member Justin E. Sanchez, District 15 Council member Oswald Felix, and District 11 Council member Eric Dinowitz have stood in support of legislative action. On the other side, District 12 Council member Kevin Riley, District 13 Council member Shirley Aldebol, District 14 Council member Pierina Sanchez, District 16 Council member Altia Stevens, and District 18 Council member Amanda Farias have resisted supporting the bill in its current form due to this critical funding and care continuity risks. Regardless of where lawmakers fall in this debate, it is vital that our community understands what Intro 303 aims to achieve at its core. First, 12-hour daily limit. It prohibits home care employers from assigning any employee a shift longer than 12 hours in any 24-hour period. Second, 56-hour weekly cap. Employers cannot assign more than 56 hours per week unless the worker gives explicit written consent. Third, right to revoke. Workers retain the right to revoke that consent at any time. Fourth, strict enforcement. The Department of Consumer and Worker Protection will investigate violations and level $500 daily fines per violation and non-compliant employers. Fifth, notice of rights. Employers must provide clear written notice of these rights or face a $50 fine per instance. At its core, this is not just about labor regulation. It is about dignity, basic human rights, and stopping the exploitation of our mothers, aunts, wives, sisters, and daughters. As protests continue and pressure mounts on Speaker Julie Manning and state leaders, one thing is clear: the current status quo is unsustainable for both workers and patients. It is up to us as a community to stay informed, hold our elected officials accountable, and demand real solutions that protect our caregivers without compromising care. And that wraps up another illuminating episode of the Garifuna Experience Podcast. Thank you for listening. Remember, the future of the Garifuna people is in our hands. Until next time, stay united, stay proud. Sungube Lida Aba. Ayo. Find new episodes of the Garifuna Experience Podcast every Tuesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, or wherever you find your favorite shows. Please rate and review the Garifuna Experience Podcast. It helps our history reach the world.